Welcome to my little space where heart and hook stitch up a place where we can together make a refuge safe for all our sake. I'm working on a Nana. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. This is my anti-Trump art project that I have been doing ever since he was elected. You saw me begin this in last week's vlog, and here I am just beginning the arms. This will become the arms from here, and this comes up for the head, and then it's going to need some breasts and some other detailing. And this one is going to be named after Rachel Oates. I'm naming each one after somebody I find inspiring, and I'm making one every week since he was elected. So this is going to be number 81. I've made 81 of them, and I'm donating the proceeds to the ACLU. So that's my project. You've seen it in almost every vlog here, because sometimes I get a little bit ahead and sometimes I get a little bit behind, but just about every vlog here, you'll see one of these nanas being made at least. So welcome to a new week. I have a custom doll on order, and that's the only thing I have technically on order, but I also have an interesting project that I will take you along the journey with me as I dive into it. I have a big bag that's full of granny squares. I'll explain more in a bit. These vlogs always overlap with each other. If you want to see the making of this horse and this Michael Jackson doll, you gotta go watch the previous vlog. And there's always going to be something at the end of this vlog that continues on till next week. It's just the nature of me deciding a cutoff point and posting a vlog every Tuesday. Okay, I thought I'd do another what I eat in a day, regular day at home, and today I'm taking the opportunity to do a bunch of batch cooking, which I like to do. So I just cooked a big pan of these mild Italian sausages. I'm gonna have 2 right now, and then I'm going to have as much chicken as I want, because I also have 2 big trays of chicken thighs cooking in the oven with bone and skin. So basically I eat until I'm satisfied. Oh yeah, and I also started the day with a cup of my cold coffee blended with ice and chocolate protein powder. And I do probably 2 to 3 more of those throughout the day while I do my business, crocheting, and video editing and posting. Oh yeah, I also added some Parmesan cheese to scoop up with each bite, and I'm having a sparkling water. Check this out. Oh yeah. Okay, I love my chicken with some butter, and I'm taking one for the team and having this pitiful little tiny thigh along with this nice large thigh. So I only salted these and put some white pepper for seasoning, and I just baked them in the oven at 400 until, I don't even know how long, until they look like this. Okay, I really think I'm full with that. Here are the rest of the chicken thighs that I cooked that I can eat on over the next couple days, hopefully, as well as everybody else in the household. And there are the sausages. And everybody in this house knows that I'm saving the chicken bones, so I will dump these into a little container I have in the freezer, and that's for making bone broth. Side note, these big yogurt containers from Costco are kind of perfect for food storage, so I keep them and reuse them until they break down. And all this liquid that cooked out of the chicken thighs is not going to go to waste. I'm going to dump it into the bones container and it'll go into bone broth. I know I already showed you this completed Nana and told you it's named after Rachel Oates, but I didn't mention I put a paw print on it to signify her dog Kyra, which she loved very much and has passed away, and I was so sad to see that because I know how much Kyra meant to her. So if you happen to see this, Rachel, I'm so sorry for your loss, and I hope you enjoy that I named one of these after you. Thank you for doing what you do. And so now I can tell you about this project. So as you see, I got this big bag full of 6-inch granny squares. I haven't measured them, but there's a note inside on a piece of paper that says that they're six inches. And there should be supposedly enough of these to make 2 twin blankets. So I need to check with my this is from a friend of a friend, and I may as well just call her my friend now too. So this is from a friend. She has these, and I don't remember exactly what she said. So somebody made these, somebody maybe in her family, and was never able to finish the 2 twin blankets that these are supposed to be for. But supposedly there may be enough of this for 2 twin blankets. I'm going to see. I have to pull them all out and count how many there are, and look up the dimensions for twin size beds. Twin size blankets, and see if there's enough. And then her request is for me to finish it. She said if there's not enough, then maybe make a throw blanket. But this seems like a lot, so we'll see. Also, I really like the fact that they are not matchy-matchy. There are a bunch of different variations of the way that the stripes are done and different colors, and even the whites are not all the same. There's some sort of like off-white and some white. So to me, when things aren't super matchy-matchy, it looks more artistic. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this project. I really love the other blanket that I created out of somebody's begun granny squares that didn't really have anywhere to go. Maybe I should tell that story. I think I've told that story before. Anyway, it's really fun to complete other people's unfinished crochet. So I want to make this usable, and I want to make this a sentimental couple of items for my customer, for my friend. So let's see what we have in here. Okay, I began by pulling them all out and counting them, and there are some random piles from what I pulled out, and here I have begun to sort them by type. And it's a little tricksy because some are very similar but slightly different in color. Like this is almost the same kind of square as this, except this pink in the center is a different one. So I'm just gonna sort them all. I have to sort those still and see what we're working with here. But we have only 157 squares total, which obviously is not divisible by 2. So 157 squares will not go evenly into 2 blankets at all. And I Googled what a twin blanket should be, and it says 66 inches by 90 inches. And that would work out to be 11 by 15 squares if the squares are 6 inches. A lot of these squares are right about 6 inches, but a bunch of them are a little bit smaller and a bunch of them are a bit bigger. So, and I don't think that would be a problem. I could still attach them and they would kind of like stretch out to meet each other just fine. But if we're working on the idea of 6-inch squares, is that, no, I have the numbers in a note in my phone and I can't see it right now, but I think that was like 165 squares for each blanket. And if I only have 157, that's obviously not going to work. So I'm trying to think of what I could do. I could turn it all into one single blanket, like she said, but I know that she would really rather have twins. So, trying to figure out the math is a little bit tricksy because squares are all different sizes anyway. And then I'm thinking, what if I separate out all the squares that are on the smaller side from the squares that are on the larger side, and I make 2 twin blankets with different counts of squares, like use the smaller ones for one, but use more of them, and use the larger ones for the other, but use fewer of them. I'm not sure yet. Another idea is to make each of these squares larger, like 8 or 9 inches wide, by crocheting an extra round or more on each one before attaching them. And then I wouldn't need as many squares, and then maybe I could use most of these squares into blankets like that. It's just kind of figuring out the math and figuring out how much she might want to pay for in terms of work, because to make this into 2 twin blankets, I'm going to need to do quite a bit of crocheting on it, and that takes time and yarn, and therefore money. So I have some more thinking to do. I'm going to continue sorting until I have them all sorted. I kind of wanted to get an idea about this so I can let her know, but I'm not ready to start working on it yet because I have that custom doll on order that I need to make. And I also got an order from my best customer for a headband, a Star Lily design headband. So yeah. Okay, I'm scrapping the idea of trying to sort them entirely because it just doesn't make sense to try to sort them. There are too many that are kind of like a one-off in terms of how it was made, like with which yarns, but also like this one has like an extra row on one side, and I don't really understand how they did that. But so I think what I'd rather do is just assume that they all are about average. If we were to average them, they're all close to 6 inches. Some are more like 7 and some are more like 5 or 5.5. But I think the majority of them are closer to 6. So I'd rather just mix them up and do it that way. And attaching, I will just have to sort of wing it to match them up because some of them have more stitches than others along each edge. Just because they're imperfect, but you know what? That's what makes it human. So I just need to message my customer and see how much crocheting she'd like to pay for, because I could either make these into a decent sized blanket by themselves, or I could add some rows of new crochet onto them and make it into 2 twin blankets. But I will need to crochet quite a bit on if I'm going to make it into 2 twins. Okay, I am back on Thursday now, and I got in touch with my friend slash customer about the pink and white granny squares. And so, as I said, I have 157 of them, and I explained to her some of the different options that I envisioned. So if I were to make 2 twin size blankets, I would need to add more crochet, quite a bit more. So like expanding the squares bigger, or crocheting strips in between the squares, rows of squares, or something to get them to like twin size blanket measurements. Or I said I could stitch them all together in one big blanket. Or when discussing with her, she asked if they could go into 2 smaller throw blankets. And because it's an odd number, we can't use all of the squares evenly into 2 blankets that are the same size. But I did say if we want to use all of the squares, we could have one blanket that is only 3 squares larger than the other by doing 80 squares for one blanket and doing 8 wide by 10 in length. And then the other blanket could have 77 squares, and that would be 7 squares by 11 squares. So that one, the one that's 3 squares smaller, would actually be a little bit longer, and a little bit less wide. So she liked that idea. And here, I'll show you what that looks like. Here's the smaller one of 77 squares, 7 by 11. And then here is the larger one, larger by only 3 squares, and it's 8 by 10. And yeah, so since some of the squares are bigger and some of the squares are small, I still have them spread out on my bed. That's why I'm looking over there. Since some of the squares are bigger and some of the squares are smaller, I was debating about whether I wanted to try to group them together, like the larger squares in one and the smaller squares in the other. I didn't count how many I have of each. But they're also not like just larger and just smaller. They're all kind of like anywhere between. So what I plan to do is, if she has me go forward with this, I already stated a price, and she's figuring it out. We haven't completely settled on this project yet, but if I go forward with this, making the 2 blankets, what I plan to do is just dump them all into like a big basket and pull them out randomly and lay them out for each blanket. And I'll do like one, and if it looks like too many of the larger size squares are clumped up in the same area, I'll try to disperse it a little bit. But that way it's really, really random in terms of placement, which is also what I need to do, because so many of the squares are, a bunch of them are the same, like the same yarns for the same rows, but then others are, there are so many that are just sort of one-offs where you can tell that she ran out of one pink and then continued with a different pink, that kind of thing. So there are a lot of completely unique squares in here, and it also really sounds like this is a really special project. This was an aunt who made these for my customers' daughters, specifically for these girls, and was never able to complete the projects. So if she was planning on making twin size blankets, she must have had plans for making more squares than there are here. But as it is, these are pretty nice size throw blankets, because I've spread them out on the bed and I can see, by the way, my bed is a queen size. So I can see roughly how big it's going to be. Once I stitch them together, and the squares kind of relax and stretch into each other, it'll morph into its own shape and dimensions that I can't quite really predict right now, because a lot of the squares are kind of crunched up on themselves, and they'll need to open up. And then I, with her permission, if I do that, I will ask if I can launder these myself, just so that they can relax into each other and get like a nice cohesive shape together before I deliver them completed. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think it would be really, really fun to use a pink yarn and seam them together with what's called now I can't remember what it's called. there's a join that's like a slip stitch join that is, it sits on top of the seam, and I use that for seaming the Flower of Life shrugs that I make, and it would be a nice little pop of color, contrasting stitching, like pink in between all these. Almost all of these squares have white around the outside edge. There was like, I think there might be one square that has pink around the outside edge, and that's okay. And then I also thought a little pink picot edge around the border would be really nice too. So white would also be really nice. It wouldn't pop as much, the seams and the border, but then maybe the squares would stand out more as well. So I will show those ideas to my customer and see what she prefers if we decide to move forward with this. So she probably had no idea what I might charge for a project like this. And, you know, I'm just taking kind of a guess at how long it'll take. And since I'm not adding, since we're not talking about me adding extra crochet, the price will be much more affordable. So, because it's not really that much work. Most of the time is spent in making a blanket would be making the actual squares themselves, and that's already done. So I'm really looking forward to that. But so as she figures out what she wants to do for sure for the project, I told her to take her time. There's no rush because I'm working on a doll. This is my custom look-alike doll. I still need to ask my customer if I can have permission to use the pictures of the little girl. I think it's she said it's her granddaughter. So yeah, she sent me pictures of the girl and pictures of the dress that she's going to wear for her first birthday. And so it's going to say 1 on the dress and have a strawberry, and there's going to be more strawberries on the dress. And so yeah, the head is nothing is stuffed yet. It's just the head and the top of the torso here. And it's going to have a skirt that attaches to these stitches these loops that I left unstitched here. And so yeah, that's what I'm working on now, is this doll. The other thing I wanted to mention, I woke up this morning with an Instagram notification that I had a new follower, which is always cool, always exciting to have a new follower. And then I saw that it was Rachel Oates. So that was really exciting for me. I mean, I know, parasocial relationship, but I've followed her for 12 years now, since like 2014 when I first realized I was an atheist. So yeah, I feel connected to her in a weird parasocial way, but like I relate a lot to some of the struggles that she's been through, with like past toxic relationships and stuff like that. And I just really appreciate her insights on all sorts of topics, especially like religious and feminism and stuff like that. And so when I named my last Nana after her, I was really glad that she saw that I did that and she appreciated it, and she's followed me. And so if you're watching this, hi Rachel, thank you for checking out my stuff and appreciating what I'm doing. And you know, I'm just trying to do what I can. I just do this little craft, and I felt like I needed to take a stand against Trump, and you know, in the meantime, highlight a bunch of cool people. So she's a cool person, and I feel like I'm a little cooler because she followed me on Instagram. So anyway, that's enough of that silly gushing, and I will get back to my doll. And tomorrow I will pack up to either head out of town to go camping again with my partner for the 3rd weekend in a row, if he decides to go. I'm not sure what he's deciding. Or option number 2, just drive down to his place and spend the weekend there. So not that much different to pack for, but you know, slightly different. Either way, I will pack yarn to bring. I will probably be finishing this doll when I'm heading out of town, unless I finish it tonight or tomorrow before leaving. Possible. But I'm quickly learning that I shouldn't like make promises that I end up not keeping. And then I also have that headband to make. Jen of Star Lily Creations has not put out the Patreon tutorial yet for her headband, Flower of Life headband / choker. It's really cute. You can wear it both ways. It's real fringy and fun. But that'll be a real quick project whenever I get to that. I would like to follow her tutorial when she puts that out. But if I get finished with this, and well, I have plenty of time. Basically, I have like 3 weeks before Etsy punishes me for not shipping at the time that I said I would. And by then, I bet her tutorial will be out. Even if it's not, I think I could recreate it. Not that I wouldn't say that it's her pattern. It's still her design. I would credit her and point people to her tutorial anyway. But I bet her tutorial will be out by then, and I can just follow her exact recipe for it. And that's fun. I can get out my scarves again for cutting some strips for doing some like long fringy pieces that you use to tie at the back of your head if you're wearing it as a headband, or if you wrap it around your neck as a choker, they just dangle in the front. So it's like a choker with like extra, it's like a full-on look. So I'm looking forward to that, making that and photographing that, and she wants it in pastel colors. So we've got a lot of pastels going on right now. We've got the pastel pink in the doll. We've got all the pinks in the blanket, and my room is just full of pink right now. So anyway, I will show you something of this doll being made. I don't know. We'll see. You guys, I am so lucky. My partner told me when I should leave the house, and I got here just as he finished setting it up. Look at this. Look at this. It's a smaller setup this time, just the two of us. So I thought I'd give you another what I eat in a day camping style. Here's my first cup of coffee and my second cup of coffee and breakfast, 3 eggs and bacon. And then I had a few sparkling waters throughout the day. I forgot to bring my yoga mat, but that was okay. This is a lie, I actually ate 4. And I had a few pork rinds with guacamole. This was sort of a lunchtime. I eat throughout the day when camping, because what else are you going to do? The nice neighbors brought us some carne asada, and I had a couple pieces of this, and my partner had the rest. I had a few olives, and then for dinner, he sliced up a rack of lamb for these lamb chops, and we had steaks, and he gave me the biggest one. The steak was like half cap, and I only ate like half of it. And so bonus, the steak went into the next morning's breakfast. Bonus clip of a bit of the next morning's eating. I finished the doll while camping, or at least I thought I did. You'll see later when I get back home. The one little tiny thing that I forgot. As you can see here, her eyebrows are pretty dark, and that's because originally we were thinking of using a darker brown for her hair, and I forgot to adjust. So here, I redid them to match. I'm back home from camping. It is now Sunday afternoon, and I thought I would fill you in on what I have, what I'm in the middle of, what I have yet to do. So I was thinking I finished this doll yesterday while camping. She's got like little ruffly socks and strawberries on her dress, and it says 1 because this is her birthday dress, turning 1 year old. She's got polka dots on the bottom part there of the onesie part, and the straps can actually tie in a bow at her shoulders. And initially, we were thinking of doing her hair a darker brown, and I had kind of forgotten that we changed the hair color when I did her eyebrows initially in the darker brown. So I actually cut that off and I redid it in this mix of this medium brown and this sort of, it's called wheat, this tan color. And there's her hair and her 2 little strawberry barrettes. And I was like, woo, I'm done. And then I realized just now, after getting home, that I have one more final touch that I told my customer I would do, and that is to use just this wheat color to give her a couple little curls on each side, maybe in the front here, little tiny curls, just like little fuzzies, because she's got some lighter blonde hair coming in more in the front here. So that's what I'm going to do still to finish this doll. And then, like I said, she's basically done. She'll be done after I do that. And I will ship that tomorrow. And then along with that, while I was gone, I got an order for another tongue-tied mouth puppet. So I have that set aside. I can ship that tomorrow as well. And then I didn't show any of this progress while camping, but I did make one Nana leg. So what I'm doing here is I'm using my scraps like I have on the past couple of Nanas. And as you can see, I rolled them into a tiny little scraps ball here. But what I'm doing is I picked one whole skein, this purple, to alternate rows of this purple along with each scrap piece. So my little thing that I'm doing for this one is after I use one scrap, no matter how many stitches it takes, no matter how many stitches it goes for, then I use the purple until I come back around, finish the round, and then go over the tops of the stitches that are in the scrap. And then once I get there, then I start the next scrap. So it'll be majority purple with the scraps. As you can see, this red was a nice long scrap, and the green is kind of long because those were from embroidering on the doll, and I always want to make sure I have plenty. So, and then I'm going to switch this and do the same format with this lighter purple for like the bodice part. Like her little jumpsuit will be the lighter purple and all of her skin will be the darker purple with these scraps interspersed like this. So I think that's really cool looking. And, you know, this gives it randomness and this gives it cohesiveness. And yeah. And then the other thing I have on order is one of the new design by Star Lily Creations, the Flower of Life headband / choker. And she just put out her Patreon tutorial for that before I left for the weekend. So I quickly watched through it and learned how to make it. So here's just the beginnings of it. Just the beginnings of it. I'm going to use this yarn, or I am using this yarn. And the only other thing I have to do once I crochet this is attach strands of art yarns and like strips of fabric. So I'm just going to grab some and show my customer and make sure she's down. I'm sure she will be. I'll pick some stuff that will match the vibe of this yarn. And then I bet I could finish this tonight also to have it ready to ship tomorrow as well. So I should have probably 3 items to ship. And I think I'll make a few of those at once while I have all those fibers out and the fabrics out. Especially for like cutting up the fabrics and stuff. I really like to make a few if I can, especially if it's a small project like that, while I have everything out. And I think that this could be a popular colorway for selling in this design. So after I do all that, the next thing I have on hand to make is just finishing those squares that I showed you already, stitching them together. So I'm going to do one stitched together and bordered with a dark magenta and the other with a dark chocolate brown. And I think they will look really nice together. They will look like a pair, but they will also each have their own separate vibe. And each of the girls that they are intended for will definitely know easily which is which, whose is whose. So I'm looking forward to all of that, and I will check back in with you a little bit later. I'll show you the doll when it's completed. I get to do a photo shoot for that in probably just a few minutes here when I finish those little curls. And I just need to finish the Nana by Wednesday, so that's not super rush time for that because I'd rather get the headband made and shipped out. Okay, how fun is this? Flower of Life headband or choker or thing that you can tie around your thigh. Before I put these materials away, this is I believe it was a curtain when I got it secondhand at a thrift store, and then a couple specialty yarns here. And that was pretty simple for the fringe. So I think I will make a few more before I put all these materials away because I have them out, might as well. And I think I could sell a few of these in my shop maybe. So I'll time myself on the next one I make. Okay, here we are Monday night, and I better finish this video and get it edited so I can post it tomorrow morning. But I wanted to show you where I'm at on this Nana. So this is the leg that I made while camping. I already showed you that, and this is the second leg that I'm working on now. I ran out of the yarn scraps that I was working on, so I wanted to keep this scrappy vibe going with my little system here. So what I actually did is I grabbed any skeins that were nearby me, like that I was recently using in some like work bags, and I just pulled a few different lengths of each skein, and I grabbed them randomly and rolled them into a ball. So I have more scraps that I made myself that are going to go into this Nana, so I can keep up with this scrappy look on this particular Nana. So for next week's video, you have that to look forward to. I'll show you the rest of that Nana next week's video. And at that point, I'll tell you who that one is going to be named after. And if you watch my reels anyway, you'll see it on Wednesday. So you'll see it the day after this video that you're seeing right now is out. And then the other thing that I did today is I made, while I was waiting for some reels to upload on social media, I made another one of these. And I forgot to time myself. So I'm going to time myself on the next one. I'm actually making two. I cut enough of the scraps of fabric from that secondhand curtain that I've been cutting into strips. I cut enough scraps of that and the fringy yarns that I used on the other one to do two more in this color scheme using this yarn. Actually, this is the same yarn I've been working from this ball though, because this ball is smaller. So I bet you this ball will go for another one. And if it doesn't, I've got this too. But I figured I would make two more in that same color scheme before, while I had those yarns out, because I think it's a nice color scheme that would be popular for this style, I think. And then I will have a proper timing on that, and I can make a listing in my shop. And then the only other thing, the Nana is my own project. If I didn't say it yet, this is my anti-Trump art project, and I'm donating the proceeds to the ACLU from the sales of these Nanas. I have tons of them in my shop. I'm making one every week since Trump was elected, and each one is named after somebody I find inspiring. Many of the people that they're named after are famous people, and many are just people I know. And then the only other thing that I have on order is this project that I already showed you. So as you can see, I stuck the yarns in there that I'm going to use for finishing the two blankets. So this you will also see in next week's video. And with that, I better sign out and finish my editing. I also wanted to mention that it's pretty funny, like the Dr. Daff YouTube channel must really, like, over the course of a weekend, probably films several episodes worth, because for 3 weekends in a row now, I was away from home on Saturday and like into Sunday or Monday, and thinking that my episode was going to be going live on Saturday, and I was anticipating coming back, and nope, it's still not up. So I got back from camping yesterday and I saw, sure enough, she has a new video up, but it's not the one that I was in. And so maybe this coming Saturday, we'll see. And actually this coming weekend, I'm going to go see Ringo and the All-Star Band. So I'm looking forward to that, but I won't be I'll be out of town, but I won't be out of cell reception. So I'll be able to keep an eye on that channel. So anyway, thank you for joining. Crochet hooks and colors bright, crafting wonders day and night. Join the fun, come see it through, subscribe and I'll create for you.